Hi guys, today I just wanted to give you a quick update on the whole school scenario, what's going on with that. And I also wanted to talk about the differences because I know it's a blinking minefield of what schools are out there, what schools are right for our child, what's a mainstream offer, what can a special needs being offer. So today I just wanted to quickly run through those with you as well. We have decided to go for a special needs secondary school. This has not been an easy decision, by the way, because as you know, we took Dylan out of a special needs nursery. Well, he went to an autism base unit, which I'm going to talk about in a minute what that actually is. We took him out of that into a mainstream school, and it felt like we made so much progress. You know, even though we had a full-time one-to-one who was with him all the time, he was still integrated into his class, he still participated. But recently the anxieties and the OCD is really kicked in, and we think it would be unfair to put him through a secondary school system where the teachers are changing every classroom. He can't have a one-to-one full-time, so lunchtimes and playtimes he would be without one, and he finds that quite disorientating because he does need somebody with him. A secondary school is also huge, and you know, sometimes the teacher won't turn up and they'll have a substitute teacher, but they won't give you warning, it just happens on the day. So these are all uncertain things for Dylan that I didn't really want for him. And after meeting with his current principal, he said, look, I just really don't think he's going to be capable of going to a secondary needs school. And yes, I've had to process that, and I've had to come to terms with the fact that he won't be. And, you know, are we making steps back? You know, am I making the right decision? And all these things go over and over in my head. But at the end of the day, it comes down to what is right for Dylan. And I did see, I've seen so many schools, I can't even tell you. But what was I looking for in a school? I'm looking for a school that understands Dylan, that's going to help bring him on, that's not going to be, oh, well, he can't do that, so we'll push him aside. And I think after talking to Olivia as well, and she mentioned that the special needs school that she went to really gave her tools to be able to cope with life. Like, that's what I want, you know. Yes, grades are important for them to get a good job, but times are changing, you know, skill sets are changing. Dylan's a whiz with computers. I mean, he's far beyond most adults that I know on a computer. Okay, maybe his English isn't that great, but we can get him help in that. And instead of a secondary school just offering, in UK, GCSEs and A levels, they can offer him other certificates which are recognized in the workplace. The other thing that the special needs school can help Dylan with is life skills, you know, ironing a shirt, going for a job interview, going on a date, which I'm already helping Dylan on now anyway. But, you know, they can help him, like I said, give him the tools to deal with life outside of this bubble that we're creating for our children. Just because he's going to a special needs school doesn't mean I'm putting him into a bubble where he won't access the real world. There are some secondary schools that do have autism units attached to them. They don't offer the same support as a full-time special needs school can, because the aim of a autism base unit on a mainstream school is to support those students to integrate mainstream, which is amazing. Dylan started in one of those, and it was quite obvious after the first year that he was more able for mainstream than he was the ASD unit. So that's really good, and a lot of people have a lot of success for higher functioning children to be able to go from the ASD base unit and to go back there if they feel a bit overwhelmed. But unfortunately there aren't that many of them now, and I know in Ireland and a lot of other countries they're actually trying to do more inclusion, so to have more of the autistic children in the classrooms and not be separated. And this in theory sounds amazing, and this is in theory what I would like for Dylan. But that's too much for Dylan. There's too much going on. He needs a safe unit. He needs more support. So finding the right special needs school for him is the right thing to do. What's the difference between a special needs school, a mainstream school, an ASD unit attached to a mainstream? So you have the specialist nurseries, and the specialist nurseries will take in a range of needs. So they take in maybe your child's very dyslexic, or maybe it's got other complex needs, or autism, and they can guide you. So a specialist nursery, I think, is always a great place to start, because also they can provide speech therapy, occupational therapy, all under one roof. which is great because otherwise you'd be running around like a headless chicken, going to all these different appointments. So try and make your life as easy as possible. You'll be better mum and dad for it. Then you have an autism base unit, like I just mentioned, on a mainstream school. And this is where Dylan went after the specialist nursery. So they said, look, he's kind of on the borderline. We think he might be okay in mainstream with a full-time one-to-one, but an ASD unit would offer him more support. So we started off doing that, which worked out well, and then we realized that he wanted more friendships than the unit could provide. So then we accessed mainstream, where he had a full-time one-to-one, and this all comes down to your EHCP plan and how many hours and how able they think your child is. So Dylan was able to access mainstream, but needed that full-time one-to-one support. Then you have special needs schools. Special needs schools, again, like the specialist nursery, offer things like physiotherapy if your child needs it, speech therapy, occupational therapy. They're more geared to your child as a whole, not just the educational department. So if your child suffers also with anxieties and OCD as they get older, it's quite good to consider those special needs schools. So I hope this helped a little bit in learning a little bit more about schools and the decision that we've made. And yeah, please let me know if you have any thoughts on special needs schools, mainstream schools. What is your preference for your child? All right, guys, again, thank you so much for watching. Please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll see you next week.